I'm Caitlin Corcoran, Marketing and Communication Specialist for Victoria Electric Cooperative. Thank you for joining us today as we are excited to be able to offer once again the opportunity of a hybrid annual meeting. Your attendance is appreciated, and we hope that whether you have chosen to participate in the voting and door prize drawing process in person or by drive-thru, that you will enjoy what we have prepared for you today. With that being said, let's get started. I would like to introduce Tammy Boyd, Secretary Treasurer, who will now present the financial statement and operating report for 2021.
I would like to thank you for attending the Victoria Electric Cooperative Annual Meeting. I am Tammy Boyd, VEC Secretary Treasurer. Let's discuss the Treasury Report. Statement of Operations. VEC had another strong year in 2021. The Statement of Operations provides a high-level overview of the financial operations of the cooperative. For the year ended 2021, operative revenue increased $2.8 million, while cost of power increased $1.8 million. Operations, maintenance, and administrative expenses increased $473,000 due to the increase in wages and benefits, along with Winter Storm Uri expenses. Depreciation, taxes, and interest expense increased $315,000 as a result of normal operations related to the electric and fiber distribution plant. Operating margins increased by $200,000, while non-operating margins increased nearly $1.4 million, which is attributed to the Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness received during 2021. Total margins increased by $800,000, mostly driven by the PPP loan forgiveness. In the following slides, we will review these numbers in more detail. Operating revenues. In 2021, VEC saw an increase in operating revenues of approximately $2.8 million, primarily due to growth in internet sales, which were nearly $1.7 million in 2021, compared to $885,000 in 2020. VEC also saw an increase in kilowatt-hour sales in small commercial accounts. Power of cost as a percentage of revenue. As represented above, 70% of every dollar went directly to the cost of power. This is the basis for why VEC began the Beat the Peak campaign several years ago, as every kilowatt-hour reduced during peak times helps to reduce power costs throughout the year. This is particularly important as we are currently experiencing unprecedented increases in the cost of power, which our board president will speak to further during his report. Expenses excluding power cost. There was an overall increase in expenses excluding power cost from 2020 to 2021 of approximately $790,000. The increase in expenses is attributed to normal operations, including wage adjustments and associated payroll taxes and benefit expenses. Other drivers were Infinium operating and maintenance expenses, additional IP addresses due to the growth in internet subscribers, along with meter testing, transformer repairs, and labor and materials related to Winter Storm Uri and increased frequency of storms throughout the year. Depreciation increased due to normal additions to distribution and general plant in 2021, along with Phase 1 of the fiber build-out. VEC saw a decrease in internet expense as the line of credit used to cover Hurricane Harvey expenses in 2019 was paid off in 2020. Long-term debt and total margins and equities. Equity represents the members' investment in the cooperative, your share of the cooperative assets. In 2021, VEC's equity ratio remained strong at 55%. Long-term debt. The blended interest rate on long-term debt for 2021 was 3.27% compared to the state median of 3.76%. In 2021, we added $2.6 million in long-term debt on the electric construction work plan, which helps to improve the reliability of the distribution system, offset with paying down principal balances on existing debt. Capital credit retirements. VEC began retiring capital credits in 2009, and we are happy to say that to date, a total of $12.5 million has been returned back to the membership. In 2021, VEC retired $738,000 in capital credits, which retired remaining patronage through 1993 and 55% of 1994. Infinium customer count. At the end of 2021, Infinium had 1,602 subscribers utilizing its wireless and fiber internet service. Infinium subscriber growth has continued to increase as depicted on the current slide, which represents the cumulative number of customers added per quarter since April 2020. The continued demand for Infinium internet service reinforces the need for fast, reliable, and affordable internet service. Infinium, powered by Victoria Electric Cooperative, is dedicated to continue to improve the quality of life for our members, as we are actively pursuing grant funding to help extend our fiber network across VEC service territory. This concludes the 2021 Treasurer's Report.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Next, Mr. Trey Rushop, President, will now present the President's Report.
Once again, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for attending the Victoria Electric Cooperative Annual Meeting. I'm Trey Rushop, President of the Victoria Electric Cooperative Board of Directors. Today my comments will be brief, and while our General Manager will comment on many of the milestones VEC attained last year, my comments will focus on the reasons why you have seen an increase in your electric bill and reinforce the importance of advocacy during times such as what we're facing today. However, before I begin, I'd like to welcome Jimmy Hayes to the Board of Directors. If you recall, with the passing of Don Waymeyer, our former board president, a seat became vacant. After visiting with several candidates, the board selected Mr. Hayes to fulfill Mr. Waymeyer's unexpired term, representing District 8 as in accordance with the provisions of the bylaws. Mr. Hayes has hit the ground running, and we are glad to have him as part of our Board of Directors and the VEC team. During my comments last year, I informed you of an impending rate increase based upon the routine cost of service study that was performed by our rate consultant. We are proud to say that it's been 13 years since our last rate increase, which is a testament to the hard work and dedication of our tremendous team at VEC. Through budgeting, benchmarking, and operating daily with the membership in mind, I'm not sure there would be many other organizations that'd be able to span 13 years without price adjustment. With that said, in June of 2022, we implemented the rate increase that would provide an overall increase in revenue to VEC of approximately 3.92%. Unfortunately, since that increase, there have been additional economic and market issues that have impacted Victoria Electric Cooperative, ranging from supply chain to the cost of power that are directly impacting our historical practices and prices. For example, while the cost of natural gas to operate the generation facilities was in the $3 to $4 range this time last year, it's in the $6 to $7 range currently, with the forward market indicating natural gas holding near $9.15 until the end of the year. In addition, as the electric market moves towards weather-dependent renewable generation, there will be times when the weather does not cooperate and the base load generation we have relied on for years is not available or out of service due to maintenance or simply a result of the aging fleet. During these times, the price in the ERCOT market will peak and drive up the market price. Unfortunately, this is what happened in July, as we lost one of our generation facilities when the market price was at its peak, resulting in an increased power cost to VEC of $1.4 million, which ultimately is passed on to each of our members. We realize the difficulty unplanned charges such as this causes. We will continue to absorb and defer charges to the best of our ability. The rates VEC are charging are more affordable in comparison to the providers in the retail market in our area. Not bad for a small local electric company. Regarding my comments on the supply chain, we wish they were brighter, but unfortunately, supply chain does not look any better for Victoria Electric Cooperative than any other utility or industry you're hearing about. We are realizing shortages in meters, wood poles, and other materials that exceed 1-year delivery times, and transformers are exceeding 2 years lead time. The good thing about being part of a cooperative is the fact that when needed, fellow cooperatives are working together with each other to ensure we exchange and share resources during restoration efforts to ensure no one is left without power. As a result of the state of our economy, VEC is also evaluating alternative, long-term solutions that may lend some relief, but may change the philosophy of the past in an effort to ensure supply, but it will come at an increased cost. While the best decisions tend not to be the easiest, VEC staff is evaluating all possible alternatives to ensure we are positioned for the best long-term solution to serve our membership. Finally, as we look to the future, I would like to encourage all of you to reach out to your legislative representatives and encourage them to take an all-inclusive approach to power generation. I'm not going to advocate for or against whether there is climate change, but I am advocating for a market that encourages baseload generation that is not dependent upon the weather. Nationally, there is a push towards electric vehicles and renewable generation, but the rate of this change is unrealistic and concerning. Our legislators need to hear from everyone, not solely those in the electric business or those advocating for government-subsidized weather-dependent renewable generation. They need to hear from the people that understand the wind does not always blow and the sun does not always shine. In closing, I'd like to thank you for your time and assure you that the entire Board of Directors for VEC is committed to ensuring that we provide safe, reliable, and affordable power for each and every one of our members. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the annual meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Rushop. Mr. Blaine Warzeka, General Manager, will now present the manager's report.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Victoria Electric Cooperative Annual Meeting. I am Blaine Warzeka, General Manager of Victoria Electric Cooperative. I would also like to thank you for taking the time to either attend today's meeting or to view the meeting and comments online as we conduct the business of your electric cooperative. While Mr. Rushop provided the details of the industry challenges impacting our rates, my comments will serve to inform you of some of the milestones your team at VEC has made in various parts of our business, such as safety, engineering, and lastly, provide you a status of the Infinium Broadband Division. While the political scene is anything but harmonious, the economy is in disarray, and employees across all industries are leaving the workforce, your team at VEC continues to operate safely and effectively. In fact, I am proud to say that in June of 2022, the VEC team reached a significant milestone of working 1 million hours without a lost time accident. This is the first time in the history of VEC that we have achieved this milestone. Those work days also coincided with our 7-year anniversary since our last lost time accident. Both are tremendous accomplishments, and I'm extremely proud of our team. Safety is a core value at VEC, and we want every employee to return home safely every day. While we focused on safety, we have worked and obtained approval of our 20-year long-range plan. This plan will be used for future improvements in obtaining loan funds for our electric distribution system. But surprisingly, this plan indicates that in the next 20 years, our cooperative will double the size of what it took 84 years to build. And honestly, as far as electric load, I believe we will double much sooner, as we are regularly meeting with companies interested in moving to Texas. It is vital that we plan now in order to be in a position to provide service to encourage investment in our community and our cooperative that will prove beneficial for all of our membership. Now that we have the long-range plan, and it has been approved by the Board of Directors, we will break it down into a smaller 2 to 4 year construction work plan to reinvest and work on improving reliability, resiliency, and redundancy of our existing electric system. Our engineering team has been very busy ensuring that our priority is continuing to improve reliability and look for ways to minimize and isolate outages as we continue to see an increasing number in lightning-caused outages across our entire electric system. In the past 2 years, we have experienced more outages simply due to lightning than any other time in the history of Victoria Electric Cooperative. This is when technology and the use of drones with thermal imaging is proving to be beneficial in evaluating and troubleshooting our distribution system as we search for lightning arresters, insulators, and other equipment damaged by lightning strikes not visible to the naked eye to ensure a long-term solution versus a quick fix that will result in an outage during the next rainstorm. So if you see our drone flying the electric system day or night, please understand that our trained staff is working for you to resolve issues and improve reliability. Finally, I know many of you have been waiting for our Infinium broadband to reach you, and I want to thank you for your patience. If you already have our service, I would also like to thank you as well for supporting your very own internet company. and I encourage you to refer a friend to continue to support our cooperative. We currently have over 1,700 subscribers, and we would love to begin extending service to phases 2 and 3 today. However, the cost to distribute fiber to the homes in phases 2 and 3 has increased to an estimated cost of $50 million. Due to this revised investment requirement, we are working to obtain funding from various sources. I'm sure you have heard of the broadband funding available to rural America. However, in order to obtain the funding, the state of Texas had to create the State Broadband Commission. This commission is responsible for determining the funding and eligibility requirements, which is currently scheduled for completion in 2023. In order to expedite construction, we requested that the commission consider establishing a date from which construction would be considered and included in any grant award to be provided as a reimbursement, so that we can begin construction of future phases immediately. Unfortunately, a decision is yet to be made whether this construction would be reimbursable if performed prior to the grant award versus the precedent set in other states of only funding construction after the grant has been awarded. In the meantime, we continue to work on finalizing the future phase design and we'll be ready for construction as soon as grants are awarded. In closing, I would like to thank you for being a part of Victoria Electric Cooperative. I would also like to thank our Board of Directors for their leadership, especially during these times of adversity. Their unwavering commitment to the VEC membership is something to be proud of and serves as an example for our entire team. As we continue to focus on safety, reliability, and expanding broadband to our membership, your team understands that we are a service organization and will continue to strive to exceed your expectations during the best and worst of times. As we approach 2023 and the next Texas legislative session, I'd like to encourage you to engage with our legislative representatives in support of Mr. Rushop's comments about encouraging incentives for base load generation. This is the best way to ensure a reliable, dispatchable, long-term power supply in all weather conditions and prevent a repeat of the incidents in February 2021 and our latest experience in July of this year during the market price peak. We will continue to communicate with you regarding our message and how to engage as the legislative session approaches. We are blessed to have great representatives, but they still need to hear from you, the constituent. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the annual meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Orzeka, and once again, thank you all for joining us.